How about them 49ers? No one expected them to win, and then George Kittle goes out and they win anyway. What an incredible game by my San Francisco 49ers. But of course, we're not here to talk about that. Well, I am. But we're also going to talk about what's going on this week in the Monday rate update. Last week was a great week for interest rates. We had President Maduro being captured from Venezuela. That actually helped interest rates on Monday. Then we had some weak jobs reports come out during the week. And then President Trump really working, really pushing the housing affordability. It talked about denying institutional investors from buying single-family homes. And then on Friday, the big news, telling the GSEs, the government service enterprises, to invest $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities. Now, again, those things all help interest rates come down, and we'll show you that rate chart. You can see rates fell off a cliff on Friday. And what typically happens on Monday, Tuesday, you see rates come back up a little bit. But we do have a lot of economic news this week. So let's get right into that. All right, so Monday we have not a lot. We have a 3-year Treasury note auction. And then Tuesday, we have the ADP weekly preliminary estimate on jobs. But the big news is the consumer price index is going to come out. The expectation is that we will see inflation stay relatively the same. So if we see inflation pop up, that would be bad for interest rates. If we see inflation actually at or below the 2.7 we were at the previous month, that will be good for interest rates. We also have some housing market news coming out. We have new home sales. We also have a 30-year Treasury bond auction. So a lot of news right out the gate on Tuesday. Not a lot on Monday. Wednesday, we have the producer price index. That's wholesale inflation, the measure of wholesale inflation. And we also have the ever important retail sales report. All right, are we spending, our consumers like us spending money, putting it all on credit cards like we have most of the last couple of years? And then we also have the existing home sales report coming out on Wednesday as well. Thursday, we have the typical continuing and initial jobless claims, plus some manufacturing reports. And then Friday, we have more industrial reports, as well as the National Association of Home Builders housing market index, which kind of gives their kind of general feelings on the housing market. And I would expect this will be a better one that we get for this first month of the year. How about them 49ers? How about them interest rates on Monday? Monday, we are looking conventional, right? Just under 6% to 6.4%. That's about the spread that I've seen so far. And then you see we are at about 5.7% on VA as we start the week. We got under 5.75. There's a good chance if we get a good inflation report, inflation comes down, we get down to 5.5. But we're going to give some of that back on Monday, most likely. That's typically what happens, but we'll see. There's a lot of other stuff going on. We have Cuba, issues with Cuba possibly collapsing. We have Iran. We have Colombia. We have Mexico. So there's a lot of things going on that are going to move the market that aren't necessarily interest rate related, but it's all related because we are not just the U.S. economy. We are part of the world economy, and what goes on around the world impacts us. So a lot going on this week. I tell you what an exciting start to the year. And, you would think I would have a lot more gray, but I don't right now. So, hey, that's it. Have a great week, and go Niners beat the Seahawks.